Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? So, don't remember if I've done a reading for you before. I do so many, I'm not always sure. So I like to explain real quick how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. Try to describe the picture the best that I can. They never waste a message. There's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. This is not an exact science. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. We communicate the best way we can. So, forgot the rest of my speech. Need more coffee. He's not going to give me all the details. Details are none of my business. He'll give me just enough that you should understand what he's talking about, what he's referring to. It's his show. It's his ball game. It's totally up to him within reason. So, I don't know why he keeps saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. See if we can get him to elaborate on that somehow. Somebody, it's not him. He knows where he's at. He knows what he's doing. Somebody here is going, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to go. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody's very confused. Somebody's very confused about something. I feel like it must be you, if he's not referring to anybody else. And it's like he's showing you're confused about which direction to go. I don't know. 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 Like you keep flipping around. He says pick one. Just pick one. Pick one door to go through. Just pick one. There's a door opening right in front of you, not a physical door, an energetic door. It's open about, well, the door's open like this, about this much. It's open about this much, but it's creaking. Like you might even hear a creaking door. If you hear a creaking door, that's an indication that this is opening more. And the creaking door, and it's not really a sign from him, this won't be, which I don't know if I've ever had this before. The creaking door can be on TV, it can be something on Facebook, it can be in a song. Doesn't matter where you hear it. That'll give you an indication the door's opening a little more, a little more, a little more. You're right there, not quite able to touch this door. So you're gonna feel it. You'll feel when it's the door that's supposed to open. And there's like, oh, I don't know where that card is at. It'll feel, how do I want to say this? Like it showed me a picture of one of my oracle cards, and I think it's called the Gate. And it's like if you, the key is around her neck. You've got the key. There's a gate, and there's these beautiful flowers and the sunshine and butterflies and all this other stuff just on the other side of this gate. And this, and in the on the card, this girl has the key, and she's standing there, but not really sure she realizes she has the key. And I know that may not make any sense, but that's what he's showing. And just on the other side of this gate, in your case, he's showing a door, is all this beautiful stuff. You have the key and you have to walk through it. He's not even saying in what area of your life. He says something about prosperity, which could mean money, but it doesn't have to mean money. I know that sounds a little vague. He knows best. And then he switches from that and he goes like this, and he goes, there's nothing more you need to know about me leaving. It is what it is. It's done. It's over. There's nothing else you need to know. He says everything went according to plan. Let me see if he's going to add to that. Everything went according to plan. Okay, so what they've taught me is, and I have no clue if you know any of this or know anything about past lives, but before we come here, we actually decide our exit point. It can be when you're 1 day old, it can be when you're 100 years old. The timeline could waver a little bit, but depending on how it will affect the people around you, what they're going to learn from it. We're here to learn lessons, but we're going to leave in that timeline. It's already predestined, like when your number's up, which to me sounds very rude, but it basically is that way. And it's designed that way for a reason. I don't know what it is. They don't let me make any decisions. I don't think we always decide how we leave at that point. I think that's decided by things that are going on with the people around you. Or it's for your soul's growth. Or somebody else's soul's growth. We're here to expand our soul. Yeah. He says everything went according to plan. There's nothing to stress over. There's nothing to worry about. And there's nothing that can be changed. And I still love you. Very, very much. Very, very deeply. And I will say love is the highest form of energy, and we are pure energy when we leave here, because we get rid of this heavy body, or this heavy body holds on to all this negative stuff, resentment and anger and all that stuff. And when we get up there, they cleanse us and they peel that off of us like an onion. They just take layers and layers and layers of the crap that we acquire here and take on, and they take that away from us, because love is the highest energy, and that is the ultimate goal. The more love, the more you can release this stuff, the more love you have. Even here, it gives you a head start up there, and it raises you higher, 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 which is where you want to go to be closer to the higher realms, or the angels, archangels, a little higher up. I don't think we actually get to go with them, but we can be close to them. Okay, now he's out actually sawing wood with a handsaw, with an old handsaw. It doesn't look like lumber, it looks more like firewood type. And now he's shown what looks like a campfire. So I don't know if you've recently had a campfire. He used to have campfires. Thinking about having a campfire. It could even be a fire pit, but he's showing it as a campfire. So know when you get that smell, they love to do smells, sounds, electronics are their favorites because they're easy for them to manipulate. And everybody knows about butterflies and stuff like that, cardinals. But I always ask them for something unique from him to you. So campfire smell, and get a little whiff of it. You can be in the store, in your car, outside, in your house. Doesn't matter where you're at. You could even see a campfire in a movie. That's still a sign from him. Validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more if you want more. That is totally up to you. But it does help if you tell him, I welcome all signs from you. It lets him know it's okay to do it. I have seen them in people's houses where they kind of stand in the corner and go, I don't know whether I should come forward or not, whether I should do anything or not. Don't want to scare them. Don't want to think their house is haunted. So many people think their house is haunted when it's just grandma coming around to check in. I find that a lot when I go to cleanse houses. Okay, he wants to ask you, what is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life? The absolutely most beautiful. And he's actually, he's showing like a newborn baby. And this looks like a professional photographer took this picture, where it's laying on its stomach with its little hands curled up, but it's got its legs up under it. Its a little butt. Its a little bare butt is, I don't I hope I'm describing it right. Its little bare butt is sticking up here, and the legs are curled up underneath it, like it's all curled up. And he's showing me this naked little baby butt. So you either have, I don't know if you have, and I have no clue how old you are because I don't creep anybody's Facebook page because it messes up what little logical mind I have when that's very little. Have a new child, new grandchild, whoever this infant is, the first infant that pops in your head, as I'm trying to describe how it's positioned, is the one. He wants you to concentrate on that feeling, not the child. He wants you to concentrate on that feeling of beauty and love. That's the purest form there is. And every time, I wish I could come up with a picture of it, because it's so cute. And every time you get into a funk or you think the world isn't right, or you're having some stressed out moment, he wants that image to pop into your head. Because there's an overwhelming sense of love and beauty looking at this for you. Now, he is talking about cardinals. Like I said, I always ask him for unique things, but there is something about a cardinal. So watch for cardinals. Usually it's the unusual cardinal. I don't even have any lately. I don't know why. It might just be, I was driving down the road the other day, and just in a certain spot, and there was a cardinal sitting by the side of the road. It's usually the unusual cardinals. When my friend passed away and his wife and daughter went back home, pulled into the house, and they said a flock of cardinals, and they said probably at least 50. Never ever heard of a flock of cardinals, ever. You only see like 2 at a time, usually. That's so unusual. That's a huge sign. Or the one that comes and sits outside your window and he's kind of looking at you like, that will be a sign. You can even be a cardinal. You can go to Walmart and there'll be a ceramic cardinal sitting there. All of a sudden you feel your head kind of turn and go, what am I supposed to be looking at? I mean, when I get that tug, I go, okay, there's something here I should be looking at. And it could be a painting of a cardinal. Doesn't matter. The unusual kind of. And you'll get it repeatedly. Again, validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more. Give him permission. He says, I'm as fine can be. And he has a huge smile on his face. Okay, let's see who this is. He's grabbing a lady around the shoulders and he's hugging her. Well, she's shorter than him, but that's kind of normal for male and female. He's calling her grandma. Don't know if it's your grandma or his grandma. He said it's his grandma. His grandma. He has an overwhelming sense of love for her. I'm trying to get him to show me something distinct about her so you would know which one it is. Turns around, shows me her booty. A little bit plumper booty. She had a little bit of a round face. She was definitely, I don't know if they're sitting or standing, though. I can't tell because I'm only seeing the top half. Now, I know that sounds a little creepy, but it's not. But he's very, very, very close to her. Whole lot of love for her. So this would have been a grandma he was very close to when he was here. So you may not have even known her. He said she cooked up a storm. Well, most of them did, back then. That was the girls' job. So he's mentioning a Ralph. And we stink at names. Don't know why. Names, nicknames count the same. Used to get him exact. I don't know why we don't anymore. But he's mentioning a Ralph that's there. So it's at least a male with an R or an RA name. Could be RAL. Ralston, Ralph, Randy, something along that line. He's not showing me this guy though. I don't know what he looks like. Did he have a brother with an R name? I'm not feeling the connection. But the little lady next door can feel more like your grandmother than your real blood grandmother clear across the country that you talk to once a year at Christmas. So this guy could feel like a brother. I'm kind of getting this brotherly feeling, but I'm not feeling the blood brother connection. So I'm not sure which way to go with that. He's calling him his brother, but I feel more like it's brother in heart. Kindred spirits, he says. Got in trouble together, he says. Love him even in death, he says. He says to say something about his feet. Did he have problems with his feet or have something on his feet or have a lot of calluses on his feet or like my dad had those horrible toenails? He said, just say something about my feet. And he didn't elaborate. He's shown himself in a recliner when he was here. There's noise outside. So he's kicked back in the recliner. The feet are up. He's turned a little bit on his side and he's got his arm over his face. Like, did he have a lot of trouble with the pain in his head, headaches? The light was bothering him because he kind of got his eyes covered up, got his head turned, or maybe he just slept that way. Kind of almost looks like something was bothering him, like here. I've asked them not to show me how they pass anymore because in the beginning I felt it all, saw every detail, and then I'd cry after every reading. So unless it's necessary, I ask them not to show me. It's almost like the light was bothering his eyes or something. There's a reason for him showing this. Like he feels very uncomfortable, not feeling good. So I'm guessing, just guessing, because he's not saying that this is probably not too long before he passed. I'm hearing the word aneurysm. Not 100% sure about that. Not so don't just take that however. He says somebody is wanting to know if heaven is for real. He says yes, absolutely. No wars, no hunger, no pain, no allergies, no famine, no hate. And he says it very softly. Only love, forgiveness, vitality, beauty, music. And then he stopped. He said somebody needs to know that. Somebody's also wanting to know what do we do up here? We play, we live, we grow, our soul grows. When we leave, we don't need this heavy body anymore. But we have the same soul, the same spirit, the same energy. Energy does not die. Like I said, love energy is the highest form of vibration. And that's the ultimate goal. Vehicle. Oh, he said vehicle. What? This is just our vehicle to walk around in down here. He wants you to know that. This is our vehicle that our soul or spirit walks around in down here, like a car. And when we don't need it anymore, we're still basically the same. It's just what's in us. Your soul moves on, goes on, still lives. I can't explain it all. He says somebody needs to know that. He says actually a lot of people need to know that. He says people don't understand. They need to work on their soul while they're here. God doesn't live in the four walls of a church. God is in everything. And if the word God bothers you, I tell people, I don't care if you call it George. There's a higher power. There is something there. He said it's pure beauty, pure ecstasy. Now he's showing when he left, and they're showing me silhouettes. There's silhouettes of many up there that were waiting, and he saw them before he left. When they show silhouettes of people, it's because they don't need to show each individual person unless there's a certain person that needs to stand out in this group. There's always a beautiful angel standing by them when they leave. And I don't know where he was when he left. He's not showing me. But if you talk to somebody that works in a nursing home, and I've watched it myself, a few days before they leave, they'll start talking about seeing. They may not tell you they see him, but they do see him, like their mother, their father. Like they look at over across the corner of the room and they start talking to them, even though they're gone, because they actually see them, because they have come to make them comfortable. So the transition is easy. So a loved one or two or three will step forward with an angel. This is the way they usually show me, so that we're not scared when we transition. I don't really like the word transition either, but I don't like death because we don't die. He showed me that baby picture again, so really keep that in mind. He says, you really are a beautiful soul. He's not talking about this. He's talking about your soul. So you really are a beautiful soul. You're hanging on to a little bit of anger and resentment because he left, something about the way he left, and he says you need to let that go. It's not going to change anything. It's not what you think, and it's okay. He's using my motto. It's a little, I don't know if you call it rude. My motto is nobody gets out alive. We all have to leave. It's part of life. It's just why? I don't know. I don't get to make the rules. He says you have beauty inside and out, and it shines through. It's a little bit covered up right now. You need to let it. You need to let it out. You need to let it shine. It's like you got a lampshade on you. You need to take it off. You need to let your beauty shine. He says you need to look at yourself like he looks at you. Like the way he saw you through his eyes, he wants you to see yourself that same way, like looking through his eyes and seeing the true beauty. You could have the biggest wart on your nose. It doesn't matter. He would not see that. He would see only the true beauty in you. And he wants you to see that for yourself. Now he's talking about the mirror. One of the hardest things I learned was when I first had to start clearing and releasing a lot of things so I would be more open and pure to do this work, is the mirror. And I don't remember how many minutes it was. Seems like it was 15 minutes, but 5 minutes is forever. Take a piece of paper and a pen, go in the bathroom, stare at your eyes in the mirror. Write down what you see. Can't all be negative. You can write down some negative, but you have to have more positive. And when you're done bawling, I bawled my eyes out because that was wow. Then you have to tell yourself I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror. In your eyes, we look in the mirror and we fix our hair, brush our teeth. We don't really look at ourselves. Not really look. Look into your own eyes and tell that person, I love you. He says, even on your worst day, do that. Until you can walk by a mirror and look at it and say, I love you, and feel it and actually know it and actually feel it like he felt it towards you. If that makes sense. You have a lot of love to give. And if you need help with that, call on him. Ask him to help you. And there's a lot of things they can do to help, but they cannot override your free will choice. My guides get mad at me all the time because I don't do things they bring me, and they go, why? We give you good stuff. Because I have free will choice, I can say no. They can bring you the most gorgeous, richest man in the world, and you can say, nope, I want the guy that's driving the trash truck. Not anything wrong with that. Somebody's got to do that job. Somebody's got to build that bridge. Somebody's got to build that road. There's nothing wrong with that. But your free will choice, you can go, no, I'll take this one. Your free will choice is I'll buy a blue house or a red house. I'll buy a white car or a black car. That's your free will choice. You make those choices. He says you're making good choices. Keep it up. But make the choices from your heart. Even if they seem dumb at the moment, make your choices from your heart. And ask him for help. You have to ask. You have to give him permission because of your free will choice. Then he can help open doors, and that door, he can help open that door. Ask him to help. And it's your free will choice whether you walk through it. If not, eventually there'll be another door. It'll keep coming back because it's what you're supposed to, it's a door you're supposed to walk through. He said it's part of the plan. Embrace it. And I love you very much. He's calling you something like baby cakes. And like I said, names we stink at, nicknames count, so might have to stretch that outside the box a little bit. I don't know why that's the one thing I can't seem to get real good anymore, but I'm not going to stress over it. But that he's going to leave. Something about if pigs could fly. But he didn't say anything. If pigs could fly, usually there's blah, blah, blah. But there's nothing else. If pigs could fly. So I don't know if this is something he used to say. This is something you might hear. You might see a pig with wings as a sign. Any place. Doesn't matter where it's at. Could be on a bumper sticker or on a billboard. Doesn't matter. I say a pig with wings. So I'm not sure where he's going with that. He says, I love you. I love you very much. With that, he's leaving. He feels so calm, so serene, so loving, so at peace. He says serenity. You can find serenity on earth. That's a free will choice, he says. With that, he's gone. Thank you very much, my dear. Thank you for allowing me to be his voice. My dog took off. Uh-oh. Anyway, later, Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later.